This is a map of Japan. And this is the region we went, traveling by coach from Tokyo to Osaka, with the Alpine route as one of the options. After an overnight stay in the outskirts of Tokyo, we took a morning drive to Kawagawa City. We had a short city tour followed by lunch before heading to Takasaki City, and an overnight stay in the village town of Kusatsu. The route is indicated in blue on the map. Kawagawa City is a famous old castle town during the Edo period. It is known for its old clay warehouses and merchant homes called kareizakuri. These houses were supposed to be fireproof, and being expensive to build, only rich merchants built them in a show of wealth. The structures have become restaurants and shops now. This is the famous Kareizakuri Street, which is a few hundred meters long. Attempt at Daruma doll painting for good luck and longevity was held in Takasaki City.
Hi, thank you very much for your coming. That you are from Singapore. So you speak Chinese or English? English. Thank you so much. So please welcome for our shop. And that this offshore name is Takasaki Daruma. Takasaki is this city name, and Daruma-san is a Daruma doll, is that name. And the Takasaki is in the Gunma prefecture, and Takasaki Daruma is the traditional craft is this prefecture. And the most important part is the Facebook. So our workshop is drawing the Facebook the customer self.
Cultivated cherry blossoms were sighted along the way to the hotel. Beautiful tulips at a road junction. More cherry blossoms along the way. From Kusatsu, the tour proceeded to Karuizawa, oldest upland resort town. The first place visited in the morning was the Kusatsu Yuba Take.
Later. Not here.
Small, I like this type.
Yeah, me too.
This side is better than all.
This one, we prefer this. I don't want to go more.
Spring show, so we don't have time now.
A Yumomi show was performed in this theater, in Kusatsu Netsunoyu.
私は今回のショーの MC を務めております。はい、MC でございますよ。三宅裕二率いるスーパーエキセントリックシアターという劇団。 Choina, choina.
What cara? Ay, 내가 보다.
Just look at the queue outside the theater for the show. And this is the video presentation of Kusatsu Yuba Take. At the other end of this yubatake, is a flight of steps up the hill. This led to a temple and a shrine. The bell tower. The view from the temple ground. Coach now continues to Karuizawa. A stop was made along the way, to admire the lush cherry blossoms. A stopover for lunch and shopping, at Karuizawa Prince Shopping Plaza. The coach continued the tour after lunch from Karuizawa. A visit to the former Mikasa Hotel was made, before heading for Nagano. Senkoji Temple was the first place visited in the morning. This lovely ground leads to the temple. And this is Senkoji Temple, a Buddhist temple, first built in 7th century. The town Nagano grew from it. This is the side view of the temple. A souvenir shop just outside the temple. A bell tower on the temple ground. The back part of the temple. A beautiful tree in the toilet area. The first gate in front of the temple. Rows of many shop houses and restaurants line the street after the first gate. And this is the second gate. The second gate leads out to the main road. This annexed building to the temple was sited after coming out of the second gate. A stop was made at a wasabi farm. And these were the wasabis for sale.
And Kyoto and Osaka city already. because Kyoto and Osaka is warmer than here. Mountainside, northern from mountainside and southern from mountainside. Different. Northern side.
A stopover was made here, on the grounds of Alpine Amachi Museum, before proceeding to the hotel. This was the highlight of the Alpine Japan tour. And this was the Alpine Japan route map that was given to us. The coach took us first to Ogishirwa Station, where we took an underground, Kanden Tunnel trolley bus to Kurobe Dam. The bus was very crowded and many had to stand. Kurobe Dam is in Toyama Prefecture. This arch dam, at 186 meters high, is the largest in Japan. It took 7 years to build, claiming 171 lives, and completed in 1963. Just look at the enormous structure of the dam. And the water goes into this valley. Just look at the crowd at Kurobeko Station, which is a short walk from Kurobe Dam. From here the cable car took us to Kurobidera Station. This is Kurobidera Station. We were free to enjoy the views before taking the Tar-Tiyama ropeway. The Tar-Tiyama ropeway is unique. It is the only one in Japan, which operates without supporting towers between the stations.
Road station, altitude 2,360 meters. We'll climb around 500. The Takayama ropeway is famous for using a single span of cable, without a single supporting pylon.
We arrived at Daikonbo Station. An underground Tar-Tiyama trolley bus then took us to Murodo Station. Murodo was the highlight of the tour. These remarkable snow walls that you see, range between 15 to 20 meters high. About 7 meters of snow falls every year. But some areas may have snowfalls up to 20 meters. The Tateyama Highland bus took us down from Murodo to Bihodera station. It took about 50 minutes.
Arriving at Tengdaira soon. Tengdaira Lodge and Tateyama Kogan Hotel are here. Passengers who get off the bus here need to make a reservation for taking the bus again. A reservation can be made at the Tengdaira Lodge.
This crowded cable car at Bihodera station took us down to Tateyama station, where our tour ended. A visit to a samurai house in the Nagamaki district was made the next morning. A visit to a samurai house followed. Photo shows the courtyard once inside the entrance. A full suit of samurai armor greeted them at the entrance. A narrow corridor leading to the various rooms. An altar in one of the rooms. And some of these museum collections. A beautiful garden awaited us outside the house. A visit to Kenrokun Garden followed. This is the entrance to the garden. And opposite is the Kanazawa Castle. Kenrokun is a private garden, and one of the 3 great gardens of Japan. Some beautiful cherry blossoms were found in the garden, attracting many visitors. Kenrokun Garden covers 11.4 acres, and was part of Kanazawa's castle ground. The building you see here at the far end of the lake, is the tea house. It is the oldest building in the garden. Some interesting shops lined this street, as we returned to the coach. A gold-foiled ice cream was offered to us. This is Higashi-Chaya district. Chaya literally means tea house. It is an exclusive restaurant where guests are entertained by geisha. Rows of tea houses and craft shops lined the street. These tea houses were very popular by geishas and samurais during the Edo period. The tour continued with a visit to Imiko Market. The Imiko Market is considered the kitchen of Kanazawa. These were some of the exquisite seafood sold here. This guy apparently loves his work, and enthusiastically demonstrated his culinary expertise. The next morning, the coach proceeded to Shirakawago Gosho village as the first stop.
Continuing from Edo period, 18th century. This type of house changed restaurant to souvenir shop. Yes, a very beautiful city. Village.
As it was almost lunchtime, we bypassed the village to the restaurant beside a beautiful lake. And this is the restaurant. Just look at this delicious array of food. The coach is now proceeding down for a tour of Shirakawago Gosho village, after a satisfying lunch. Shirakawago is a UNESCO heritage site. It was restricted from the outside world until 1950. The village farmhouses are known for its serenity and beauty.
Okay, enough. Ready?
Omigaki is the largest and main village of Shirakawago. This viewpoint is very popular with tourists. More farmhouses could be seen on crossing the bridge. The farmhouses are characterized by their thatched roof. Some of these farmhouses are more than 250 years old. Many farmhouses are made into shops, restaurants, museums, and even lodgings for tourists. This open-air museum at the end of the road was opened to visitors for a small token fee. And here are some pictures taken inside. The morning of day 7, a trip was made to Takayama Old Town and the picturesque bridge. The old town of Takayama is sometimes called Little Kyoto, with quaint buildings preserved since the Edo period. These buildings now house shops, coffee houses, Sarkai brewery, and some museums. You can now see the famous bridge in the background. This bridge, which is over the Miyakawa River, is very popular with tourists, especially in spring, with many cherry blossoms growing along the river. We took a walk to Kami-san Amachi Street. This street is lined with old timber houses which has been preserved. Some of the old timber houses were formerly owned by wealthy merchants. Next we visited Takayama Yatai Kaiken. This is a popular exhibition hall, displaying traditional handcraft floats that are used for festivals. The following were the exhibits displayed. This is the entrance of Todaiji Temple visited, after a long morning drive. Todaiji Temple is listed as a UNESCO Heritage Site. It is one of Nara's 7 great temples. The bronze statue of Buddha and its wooden hall are one of the largest in the world. Here you see the 2 statues which served as guardians of the temple, one on each side at the back of the temple. The next morning, the tour started with a visit to Chiang, a famous geisha district in Kyoto. This district served early travelers and visitors to Osaka Shrine in the Middle Ages. It is now filled with old houses, bars, pubs, shops, and tea houses. Gyeong is famous for its entertainment by geishas or mikas, in their colorful kimonos in traditional tea houses. This is Osaka Shrine, which faces Gyeong district. The entrance of the shrine is shown here. More photos follow. A hearty and satisfying lunch was provided, after the morning tour. This is Kinkakuji Temple we visited after lunch. It is a Buddhist Zen temple and is popular with tourists, being also a World Heritage Site. The temple has 3 floors, with the 2 uppermost floors lined with gold leaf. The first floor of sliding wood doors and latticed windows house statues of Buddha and Yoshimitsu. Yoshimitsu was the original owner of the complex. From Osaka, a day trip to Awaji Island was made on day 10. Here you see the coach traveling along the 2 miles Akashi Kaikyo suspension bridge, which is the longest in the world.
Awaji Island. This is island. Big island. Yes, we came island now, Awaji.
A brief stopover at this place and some picture taking. These are some of the houses in Awaji Island.
0.13 million. Osaka, 9 million.
Video shows the group on one of the longest travel laters ever taken, going up to Narutoyama Observatory deck. Some mini whirlpools were seen here. They are caused by tidal waves through the narrow Naruto Strait. The next morning, a trip was made to Osaka Castle. And this was the original well, where drinking water was obtained in the past. Osaka Castle was first built in 1597 by warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi. Many wars devastated the castle but was rebuilt and restored over the years. The castle covers 15 acres. It has 5 stories on the outside but 8 inside. It now houses a museum. We had to look for the restaurant for our lunch in this place. Just look at the crowd going into the restaurant for lunch. A trip to Umeda Sky Building followed. Picture shows its beautiful landscape features. Note the 2 buildings each 40 stories high are linked at the uppermost floors. Here you see a lovely view of Osaka City from the building. The tour ended with a visit to Kuruman Ichiba Market, the main market of Osaka. And a final shopping in the basement of their hotel, the Osaka Daiichi Hotel, before departure for home.